welcome back to my channel. I am bringing you another informational video today, and this is going to be discussing overtraining. I feel like it's been a minute since I've brought you guys a really good informational and educational video, so we are going to discuss this today because it's actually very important and it happens a lot. So I'm just going to break it down to you guys. Are you overtraining? What are the signs of overtraining, and how do you fix that? It's a quiet day at my gym today. You can see there's nobody here. A lot of you guys ask, why is it so empty in your videos when I post videos? Because, well, I am a gym owner with my boyfriend Zach. We've owned the gym for over 8 years now, and we own a supplement shop, a Nutri shop right there. So I know the slow times of days, which is typically right at this time. It's not very long. It's like maybe like 30, 40 minutes, and then it gets busy again. And also I can come in here whenever I want when it's closed and record too. And I like my videos to be clean and not a whole lot of distractions, especially when I'm doing workout videos, because you want to focus on the workout. So anyway, let's get into the discussion about overtraining. Well, I'm going to use this preacher curl as my chair so I can sit here and talk to you guys. All right, so the first thing we're going to talk about is overtraining. What does it mean? First of all, overtraining is very common in weight training, in pretty much any, athletes, runners, anybody that does any type of sport requires exercise. It happens when the volume and the intensity of your exercise exceeds one person's ability or capacity to recover. You basically stop making progress. You lose strength, you can stop losing weight, you can stop gaining muscle. Various different things. Basically, so how does it start? Most of us start out on our fitness journey. We start working out. We're really excited. We get on a regimen. We just start getting out there more, and it can be any form of exercise. You start going 4, 5, 6 days a week, and you're just go. You're really excited. You're on it. You're making progress, and you keep going. Now, take into account, most of us are starting out with a restricted diet, or not even the proper diet in the first place. We just jump right into fitness. We probably make some huge changes in our diet, but probably not the proper changes, or having enough information and knowledge to have our diet and our training in conjunction with each other. And then we increase our load and our intensity in our training. Most of us have a goal. We're at a certain weight. Say you're 155 pounds. You want to lose 20 pounds. You get this goal in your mind. Then most of us are we're going to only eat 1,200 calories or 1,500 or whatever it is. So we get these specific numbers as a goal, and then we do everything and we possibly can, cutting back foods or training as hard as we can to reach those numbers. So of course, what we're going to do is we're going to be like, okay, in order for us to achieve these goals, I'm going to work out 6 days a week, or I'm going to work out 7 days a week, 1 day rest, 2 day rest. You're going to do cardio in the morning. You're going to do weight training at night, or you're going to do training and cardio at night. You have a specific plan that you do that ends up being a pretty intense load right off the bat. Of course, majority of people who just start out haven't been doing much exercise or even made a diet change for a long period of time. Right when you start that, you're going to see results really quick. It happens to anybody. But those results end up slowly tapering off the longer you've been doing that specific routine. I have plenty of videos on this that most of us don't have the proper diet and the proper training, too much cardio or whatever it is in conjunction. We keep following that specific plan for day in and day out. Eventually you're gonna plateau, or eventually you're gonna end up getting the point that you're gonna be overtraining your body. You could be going 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, feeling really great, feeling good, making progress, and you've got it, you can do it. But at some point, it's different for every single person, each individual. At some point, and depending on what you're doing, at some point, you're going to not be feeling so great. You're going to start noticing a lack in performance, a lack in progress. Everything's going to start slowing down. You're going to probably not feel as strong as you want. You're going to feel tired, sluggish. A combination of things you're going to start noticing, which is not only is going to cause you to lose motivation, it's going to cause you to get frustrated. So what might you do? You might increase your training, thinking you have to train more. You might think you have to cut more food, more calories, because you're thinking, oh, I'm not making progress, I need to cut more food. But that's only going to send you down a bad road. That's going to just be more negative on you and cause already the problems that you're having just to worsen. A lot of people might get super frustrated and then they stop altogether and they're just like, I can't do this, So don't do that. There are a lot of different reasons why this is happening to you, and it's just being patient, kind of looking at all the signs and the symptoms and reevaluating what you're doing and going from there. So let's talk a little bit about the signs of overtraining. Persistent soreness. Soreness that's just always there, constantly, increase of injuries, being easily irritated, depression, loss of motivation, insomnia, can't sleep, decreased appetite, weight loss, or sometimes none at all. Probably notice your immune system is not as good as it used to be. Probably getting sick, probably getting various different things probably affecting you more than they used to. I am guilty for this. I overtrained, even though I know all this of overtraining because I have this overactive mind, this overactive body. I don't do caffeine, you guys, because I'm constantly like, let's go. That's, I guess maybe it's a Virgo thing. I always feel like I have to be doing something. I always have to be accomplishing, doing something, but I'm always on the go. So when I feel like I'm not training or doing something, I'm like, I gotta be doing it. So it's easy for me to overtrain. And I went through a period of where I did overtrain. I was wondering why, wondering why I wasn't making any progress. Everything from mentally, physically, everything was just backtracking. All the symptoms that I said, you guys, I was having all those symptoms. And eventually what happened is I went into stress, mentally and physically. Too much cardio, too much training. And then when I felt like, oh my gosh, I lost a day, I've got to double up on another day. And a lot of you guys do that. You think, oh, I missed a day, well, I'm gonna double up this missed day on another day, which it does not progress you guys any further forward. It does not progress you forward. If anything, you might just be causing more damage than good. Doing 2 training sessions in one day is fine as long as you give yourself rest and recovery in between and you're replenishing with the right foods, supplements, whatever that is. But if you're just trying to pack in a 3-4 hour session because you missed one and not having the right amount of recovery, you're not making up for anything at all. Again, remember, you're just doing more damage than you are good. Rest is number one. It is the most crucial thing that you should be doing. Personally, I went from training 6 days a week, maybe having 1 day of rest off, if that. I was, in those 6 days, I was training most of them doubles. And I went from doing that to where I have only 2 days a week that I have doubles, but they are complete separate workouts. One's in the morning, one's in the evening, and it is my jiu-jitsu. I have enough time of recovery and rest in between, and I am replenishing myself with the right foods. I also have the right pre, intra, and post-workout shakes, foods, snacks, so I'm not just going and doing a training session on an empty stomach without any post-recovery stuff on those double days. So I have 2 double days a week, and then I have 2 other days that I'm doing 1 training session. And then I have, so that's 4 days. And then I have 2 rest days. And that's how it's been consistent for the past, like say 8 months or so. And I have to tell you, the progress that I've made in that time, my body, how it's reacted to that has been positive. I thought I was gonna lose muscle, I thought I was gonna lose progress, and I had all those things running through my head just like you do when you think that you're taking more rest days than you should. But it's not true. Actually, I made even better progress by taking more rest and recovery, taking those days off. So it's really important. You need to let your body recover in order for your body to be ready for your next training session, so you can make more progress. Same thing goes when I always talk about food. If you're burning too many calories in your training session and not taking in enough food for a long period of time, you're gonna halt progress. It all ends up being the same thing. Rest is important, you guys. If you're not taking enough rest, you need to take it. There's sometimes I'll take 4 rest days in a row and I won't even train, and I don't even trip on it. I'm like, I'm gonna take 4 days off. And then when I come back to training, whenever that is, I'm like, boom, like the amount of progress I make in that week was like, whoa, if I didn't take those rest days. So it's okay to take rest days, and it's okay to take more than 2 rest days. But at least, if you guys need to, at least take 2 rest days. And if you can't sit still on your 2 rest days, do like active recovery. That means maybe go on a walk, go on a hike, paddleboard, yoga, I don't know, something that's fun, but it's not gonna be stressing your body out. You do need to give yourself some rest and recovery. It's very, very, very important, not only for mental, but physical. Reducing the amount of volume or intensity in your training. I used to be one of those people that's like, I always gotta go hard, gotta go heavy. You guys look back at my past videos, I was always talking about lifting heavy, going heavy, pushing the weight, going hard, going intense all the time. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's all about having a moderation and having those breaks. I didn't give myself those breaks, and I was constantly going hard, trying to go as heavy as I could, and if I wasn't feeling it wasn't as intense, I would push myself even harder. So what happened? My body started reacting negatively to everything. I ended up getting stressed. I started gaining weight. I was breaking out. I was having irritability. I was having all the signs that I discussed earlier. I was having those. Then it came to the final straw. I started having little injuries happening here. I ended up with a pinched nerve in this side, and it was really bad. I had to take almost 3 months off of training because of that injury. Telling this from my own experience, it's really important to pay attention to everything and not think that you have to go hard and intense and for long periods of time just because you think you're going to lose progress, because you really aren't. When real progress happens is when you are resting and recovering. That's when the real results come. Well, personally for me, I always like to mix it up. I'll go like a month where I focus on more like stability and some strength, but I'm not pushing myself really hard, and another month to come, I'll push myself a little bit harder, or I'll just go day by day. One week I'll be like, I'm just gonna focus on stability and just light training, and then the next week I'll be like, I'm gonna go super heavy, and that's the only exercises I'm gonna do. So mix it up all the time, have those breaks in there, and just pay attention to your body, listen to your body. Another important thing too that I discovered, especially when I experienced my pinched nerve, was massage. And it's not the massage that you're going to like, oh, just having a day at the spa. This is deep tissue massage. If you can afford it, if you can fit it in, having that regularly. I've been doing it regularly for the past 8 months since my injury, and again, changing everything else in my regimen, and I haven't had any of those problems since. I talk about this all the time, is your diet, you guys. Your diet is making sure you're having the proper nutrients, you're intaking the proper nutrients and the right amount of foods according to what you're doing. So restricting for too long, your body's not going to get the right amount of nutrients and vitamins that it needs to function properly and to perform properly in your weight loss or weight gain goals, or in just being an athlete in your performance if you're training for something specific. So having the right diet and not depending so much on processed stuff. You guys know I've talked about this so many times. I've gone to intuitive eating, and I've gone to pretty much cutting out every single thing processed. The only thing I consider processed in my diet currently is my proteins, my meats, whey protein, and also the source bars that I eat. So those I still consider processed. But those are the only things I have in my diet regularly. Everything else, fresh, raw, fruits, vegetables, healthy fats, complex carbs, and they're raw complex, or not raw, some of them I could. But I mean, I'm not getting my carb sources from tortillas and breads and various things like that. My personal decision is I'm just not doing those because I'm focusing on health aspect. I'm not focusing on the palate. Finding what works for you, what you need specifically for you, and having that balance and having the right amount of intake. Because then once you have the proper amount of nutrients and vitamins that your body needs and the right amounts, you're gonna feel good, your body's gonna perform at optimal, it's gonna perform 100%, and you're gonna make the progress that you want, and you're gonna avoid all the negative signs that I was talking about earlier when it comes to overtraining. A lot of you try to do too much in one training session. I personally will sometimes do a full body workout, but I don't overdo it. Again, I don't train for 2 hours trying to fit all these things in. I pick a specific muscles, and I'll be like, okay, today's gonna be, we're gonna focus on arms and plyos and core or something like that, and then other days we're gonna focus just on legs, you know? So it's about split training, not trying to put too much in a training session. And again, if you have to do double days, try to have them separate if you can. Otherwise, don't try to fit in a 3-hour training session. You know, mix up your days. Do a leg day one day, do a cardio day one day, then do upper body one day, or just focus on biceps and triceps one day, and then do shoulders one day, then back. You can make it however you want. It does not have to be specific. So don't feel like you need to have it exactly like this way. Make it work for you. When it comes to this lifestyle, training and trying to reach your goals, it's very rewarding. And I know what it feels like when you put your mind and you commit to something and you start seeing the results of because of all the hard work you put in. It's very rewarding. But there's always goods and bads that come with anything, pros and cons, like all of that. So it's just about really paying attention to what you're doing. If something's not working, you're not feeling good about something, you'll reevaluate what you're doing. Don't just freak out, get overwhelmed and be like, oh my God, I'm gonna give up, or try to just go even harder, more intense. Be patient, reevaluate the situation, kind of take a look at what's going on with your body and what you've been doing. Just make some changes. You know, maybe you do need to put an extra rest day in there, or maybe you need to start eating a little bit more. Maybe you need to decrease the amount of intensity that you're doing in your training. I know this from my own personal experiences. I've gone through various different phases of my life, not eating enough, training too much, doing too much cardio, or just going way too hard and intense and pushing myself beyond my limits, not giving myself enough recovery time. So just pay attention to the signs. And if you are currently doing it, don't freak out, don't feel bad, don't think like, oh, everything's ruined, oh, I hurt myself. All it is about is making some changes for yourself. And you know, the beauty of this lifestyle is we can always make changes, and we can just, you know, keep progressing forward and we're always constantly evolving too, which is awesome. So hopefully this video was helpful for you guys. I know it's been a really common question asked lately, and I thought I'd address it, share it with you guys. But thank you again for tuning in. If you like this video, please like, share it, subscribe if you haven't already, but I will see you guys on the next video. I'm going to, while it's empty in here, I'm gonna get my training done because I have this whole playground to myself right now because it's about to get busy in here very, very shortly, so we'll take advantage of this. All right, you guys, see you on the next one. Bye.